BNP Paribas, partenaire des plus belles histoires de Roland-Garros, aux côtés des ramasseurs de balles depuis plus de 50 ans.
Okay, Coco, first round matches at Grand Slams tend to be quite tough, especially with no rackets on court.
Yes.
How did you turn that around?
Yeah, well, the most important thing is to play with the racket. So that was getting through the first step. And then after that, maybe it probably relaxed me going into the match because this is just such a funny thing. Yeah, so I'm just happy to get through today, and I'll remember my rackets for next time.
Hi, Coco.
Hi.
You usually wear such great kits for every Grand Slam, and this time we saw you with a leather jacket for the walk-up. Can you talk about that, and what was the inspiration?
Yeah, honestly, I ain't gonna lie, that was all to New Balance. I didn't really know I was wearing I knew the kit that I was wearing because we tried on, obviously. But they gave me the leather jacket, and I saw it this week, and I was like, oh, wow, that's fire. I've talked to them how I always wanted to spice up my own, like, walk-on outfits just because I feel like you can do a lot because you're not playing. So we've talked about doing a leather jacket, and we talked about doing other stuff that I don't want to say because in case we actually do it. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with it. But yeah, I think it's cool. I feel like it matches like the Parisian vibe here, and it just makes me feel super powerful going onto the court.
Hey, Coco, well played today.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to ask you this question because you're one of the leaders of American women's tennis. Not the only leader, but
Yeah.
one of the key leaders. And we're talking about 2.5 years since Serena has retired, and you guys have been able to do so much incredible stuff. Couple slam winners, 23 guys in the top 200. I just wonder how it makes you feel that her legacy is living on and that you guys are so diverse and so powerful and so talented and so deep.
Yeah, I think it means a lot to all of us. I think we all root for each other, and to have like your compatriots on tour makes it a lot easier, having people that you can call and go to dinner with and, you know, deal with this life, because no one knows how it is except, you know, the players on tour. And just to have so many options for friends, so many options for practice, so many options for doubles, like it's just nice. And I guess to be a part of that means a lot. And yeah, with Serena, I think she's inspired so many to play tennis, including me. So she definitely has a lot of credit when it comes to just getting rackets into people's hands. And obviously, the more rackets you get into people's hands, the more chances you have for people to do great on tour. So yeah, it's great to be a part of that.
Well done. How is your first, I mean, she mentioned before about first rounds can be a little edgy. How is your edginess heading into first rounds these days, especially at Grand Slams?
Yeah, usually I'm very nervous, and I was a little bit today, but I think it was just the least nervous I've been heading into a first round of a Grand Slam. And then the whole racket situation, I think, just took a load off too. So yeah, I think, yeah, I wasn't nervous today. I knew the conditions were going to be difficult, so it's kind of one of those matches I went into knowing it wasn't going to be pretty tennis all the time. So I think it just, with that mindset going in, it just makes you feel better necessarily when you aren't winning the points the way you kind of want to.
And then can I just ask, how do the nerves change as the rounds go on?
Well, I think no one just wants to lose first round, so, and it happens. I mean, half the draw loses first round, so when you put it in that perspective, you realize it's really not that bad, to be honest. So yeah, I think as the rounds go, I think it's just with every tournament, you feel more comfortable out there on the court. You have a match under your belt. You know how to deal with certain situations. And yeah, I think for me, I think the first round is the most nervous I get. And after that, I feel like it's a little bit more smooth sailing.
Hi, Coco. Congrats for today.
Thanks.
You've been coming to Paris and Roland-Garros for many years now. I'm just wondering if you settled into a kind of Parisian routine.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I still explore new things like all the time. But yeah, sometimes if I play later, I'll go walk in the gardens or, but for the most part, I think I try to do new things each trip. And even if it's just going to dinner in a different area than where I'm staying, not necessarily, I guess, tourist things, but I have a couple things saved that I want to do, but who knows if I have the time.
Hey, Coco. I just wondered what informs your decision whether to play doubles at an event, and what are the kind of pros and cons of doing so?
Yeah, honestly, To be honest, in Madrid, Robin asked me in Miami if I wanted to play doubles, and like Robin. She's one of my closest friends, and we've known each other since we were maybe 9 years old. So I was just like, yeah, it would be so fun to play on that level with someone I've known so long. So that was kind of my decision with that. And then Rome, honestly, I was just thinking how it was just a long 2 weeks. And then at first I originally wasn't going to play doubles in Rome, but then Alex DM'd me, I think before my semifinal in Madrid. And she asked me if I wanted to play, and I was like, yeah. And yeah, I think it was just honestly them asking me, especially them being around my age, just having players that are around my age. And I obviously knew Robin, but Alex I didn't know well, and I thought that would be a good opportunity just to know her and make a friend. And yeah, that was the reason why I decided to play.
And what were the sort of advantages and disadvantages, I guess?
Oh, I mean, advantages, I mean, especially in the long Masters 1000s, I think just speeding it up the time faster. Obviously, I got lucky that I went finals in both tournaments, so it didn't feel so bad. But if you lose early and having to wait for the next tournament, it's a long wait. And then same here. Like, I probably wasn't going to go home after Rome if I had lost early, so it was better just to be in a tournament doing something, feeling like you're competing and not losing that edge. So the disadvantage, obviously, scheduling, waiting around. The weather could play a factor, and, you know, hoping that you get the schedule that you want so you can still feel fresh for singles.
Hi, Coco.
Hi.
Would you say it's easier or harder for a teenager to win a Grand Slam title? Maybe there's the advantage, once one is older, of having more experience and all of that. There's maybe also on the other side the advantage of being more of an unknown or less a player who everybody has seen a lot if you're younger.
I guess it depends on where you are on that spectrum. I feel like for me it felt harder just because I felt like in my game and maturity-wise, I was probably nowhere near ready to win one in the early ages of like being a teenager, but everyone expected it because of that hype train around it. But you have to be realistic that these are developing players, and not many tennis players these days are reaching their peak so young. Most players are reaching, I mean, look at Sabalenka. I feel like not later, I mean, because she's still young, but just people, I think in our sport, think of it like that. But any other sport, most people are peaking a little bit later. But obviously you have if you're maybe someone like Emma or, someone who's a little bit under the radar, yeah, maybe it's probably a little bit easier because you don't have the necessarily pressure. It all situational for me. I think it just depends on when you first came on tour, how much quote unquote hype it is, and if the player is able to knock all that out, because it is tough too sometimes.
We'll do last 3 questions. The lady in the back.
Hello.
Hi.
I would like to ask you, being now on the top quite a while, what is the key factor that you think the one who's number one the most of the time during the year is managing better than the other 2, 3, 4?
I mean, probably consistency. I mean, to be number one, you have to win a lot. And Irina's been winning a lot in the years that Igos were mainly the number one. She was winning a lot. So I think just consistency on tour, and each year I think you learn how to manage that consistency. It's not easy when you're winning. It may look like that, but it's not, because we're winning matches and you're playing more matches, and you have to learn how to manage the year. And I think, both of them probably managed the year pretty well. So yeah, I think for me to reach that point, obviously there's parts of my games that I have to change, but also I think it just comes with experience and learning how to manage the year.
Hi, Coco.
Hi.
At Chris, he stated that you are like one of the leader of female tennis. So I want to ask your opinion on almost no female matches are scheduled in the night session.
Yeah, I think here it's a unique topic just because there is only one slot at 8:15. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you want, I don't think any girl, I mean, prove me wrong, I don't think anyone wants to play after the 8:15 match. So I don't know what the other girls would think, but I think most people would rather play before that. Maybe there's a chance to put someone at 6:30 or 7. But yeah, I think if there is only going to be one match at 8:15, like, yeah, maybe there could be a women's match. But if it is going to be, if they want to start the night session at 8:15, I'm sure most girls on tour rather not play after a men's match and have to go on at 11 or 12. So I think it's just tournament to tournament. And this tournament, seems to me what they want. But most tournaments do have the 2 matches, one starting at 7 and one afterwards. So yeah, I can't really complain too, but I think it's just up to the tournament, honestly. But yeah. Thank you. Thanks.